What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Before Kobe Bryant retired from the game of basketball, he started planting the seeds of foundation for what he wanted to do after he retired from the game of basketball. We all know about how he coached girls basketball, women's basketball, and his daughter Gigi. Rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi, and everybody else that passed away in that horrific accident. May you rest in peace, rest in power. But one thing Kobe was very, 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 very passionate about was storytelling, and he began a storytelling career. And we already know that in his first time being nominated for an Oscar, he won an Oscar for his short story through short video rather, Dear Basketball, which is absolutely brilliant, absolutely beautiful. But before that, he had started at least two series on ESPN from what I remember. One called MuseCage and one called Detail. Detail was him just breaking down basketball footage, X's and O's, execution, things like that. Very intelligent. If you're big into stuff like that, I highly recommend you go watch it. Kobe Bryant's Detail. And the MuseCage series was essentially just some ideologies, some thoughts, a way of thinking, perception, reasoning, all kinds of stuff, and different episodes that had different, very artistic displays and views, while also telling a story that can build character that you can take far in life, but was also adaptable for women or for children and adults. The MuseCage series is brilliant. It was somewhere animated with puppets, all kinds of things. Good, literally good stuff, man. So one of his MuseCage series we're going to react to today. I actually haven't seen this one before. Kobe Bryant details how future NBA stars can learn from the greats. And I'll tell you this about Kobe being Bryant. And if you didn't really follow Kobe, you probably wouldn't know this. And unlike some basketball players today, that I will not name, Kobe Bryant had so much respect for the players before him at varying levels of greatness. He looked at basketball through a different lens than some people. While they say, well, that guy isn't very good, look at his stats, or look at this. Kobe sees the beauty in their game and the things that they do great and wants to learn from them and see how he can apply it to his game. Kobe Bryant was literally like the definition, the embodiment of what it is to be a student of the game and pay homage to the ones before him. He was all about that. You can find stories upon stories upon stories of this guy reaching out and learning from the players before him. And he took all the things he learned and all the things he discovered and found out even just by himself through his journey and tried to share that with the generation after him. He was all about receiving information and giving back to the future of the league. That doesn't get brought up enough about Kobe, man. It really doesn't. His passion for the game in all areas was incredible. And he's any great you could probably think of, Kobe reached out to it. And Kobe was a complete historian of the game of basketball. I've learned a lot about past greats just by Kobe's storytelling about these greats, or his experiences watching these greats or interacting with these greats before him. A complete historian of the game. I'm talking all franchises, man. He's a brainiac. He's an almanac of basketball, if that makes sense. Encyclopedia of basketball, rather. Anywho, I'll shut the hell up. Let's get into this. It's short, 3.5 minutes.
Welcome to the MuseCage Basketball Network.
This is what I do. I learned it from you. You learned it from him. He learned it from them.
This is what I do. I learned it from you. You learned it from him. He learned it from them again.
This is what I do.
This is
I
dope.
learned it from you.
You learned it from him.
He learned it from them. This is what I do. I learned it from you. You learned it from him. He learned it from them.
That was dope. I like that.
We have a problem. We have a problem. The man screamed. My son, my
Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Kobe Bryant actually doing the narrating right now.
son thinks Jordan is just a meme. He thinks Magic wears glasses and plays for the Quidditch team. The only bird he's ever seen has wings that aren't green. Help me, I know not what to do. The panic in his voice made his fear feel true. What am I to do? Said the basketball sage. You are living in a fear that you yourself have made. Have you sat your son down, showed him film of what used to be? Have you showed him how Pistol Pete could score 40 before threes? Does he know that Elgin Baylor was Euro stepping before Euros? Or does he think Elgin Baylor is the latest, greatest Euro? Does he know that a dream can shake without earthquakes? Does he understand the power of Superman without a cape? If the answer to these questions is a sound resounding no, then your son is not to blame for not knowing what he doesn't know. I suggest you go home, have a long talk with your son. Explain to him that way before the meme was the tongue. Tell him about the doctor, the Big O, Willis Reed, Clyde the Glide, Earl the Pearl, Russell's championship rings, the pull-up of Mr. Clutch, Kareem's sky hook, McHale's slippery eel, Magic Johnson as a rook. I could go on and on with signature moves and names, but the fact your son knows none in the mirror casts the blame. Except that the present is made to learn from the past. To create a new tomorrow, the old yesterday must last. The man stood silent, contemplating, thinking. Then he realized that the sage was right about everything he was preaching. From this day forward, I vow to make a change. I promise to raise my son to be a true student of the game. He will know that Nate Archibald came before Curry. Why John Wooden said it's important to be quick but not hurry. Thank you, wise and wonderful sage. And with that, the man left wiser than when he came.
Hey, if you love basketball, you can't tell me that wasn't fire. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. This was dope. This was dope. Very well done, Babe Bryant. Very, very well done. Very well done. Definitely, as a guy, this kind of goes hand in hand. Obviously, you know how he put that together. You could see some inspiration from the great Dr. Seuss there, right? Maybe a little bit in the animation as well, but definitely in the form of storytelling and getting the information out. Come on, man. That's heavy Dr. Seuss inspiration. I see you, Bean. But even in his career with the storytelling and working with different forms of media involved with that, he reached out to a lot of greats in various positions and filmmaking, narration, animation, sound, everything, illustration, animation. He reached out to greats, greats, people that I don't necessarily know the name of, but if you're involved in those circles, you know the names of these people, right? People that were, headed on certain projects like, OG Disney movies, Beauty and the Beast, for example, things like that. This type of people he was getting information from and learning from, like masters of their class. But this, it's a great story. It's a great, I guess, what's the word I want to use? A good way to look at the situation, right? Sometimes instead of blaming this person that doesn't know, if you can do something about it, if you can enlighten him, enlighten that person, teach them about their history or whatever history, you should do that. Because it'll do a lot for that person as far as understanding and maybe even understanding life, things that go beyond basketball, to be honest with you. It can go a long way, believe it or not. That's my opinion. Seriously. But nowadays, I know I talk a lot of smack about, the younger generation nowadays and their inability, well, let's just say, in how they slander greats of the past, and they think these current players and this current version of basketball is the greatest thing they've ever seen. Well, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen. Exactly, the greatest thing you've ever seen. But did you apply yourself? Did you try to go learn about the players of the past? Did you try to go figure out who was doing this before who? Who was doing what when? But now we live in an age where all this information are at their fingertips. So that I can't give them the excuse of, their parents didn't teach them, this person didn't teach them, whatever. If they want to know what happened, if they want the knowledge, they can get it instantly. So the fact that they won't tells me that they don't want to. And to me, maybe it's just ignorant. But don't go around here slandering other greats if you haven't done the research on these players, because that is ignorant. Now, if you watch everything you had to watch, observed it, did your research, and still come to the conclusion that this era and these players are just far better than the ones of the past, okay, well, that's your conclusion. I'll disagree with it, but God damn it, at least you did your research. But most of them don't. They don't. One thing I love about how this channel has evolved from when I first started it and the type of videos I was doing, which are very different from the type of videos I'm doing now, is that I've learned a lot. And I thought I knew a lot about basketball, and I realized there's still a lot more for me to learn. And I thought I knew a pretty decent amount about players of the past, and I realized there's still a lot for me to learn. And I got to thank a lot of you guys for giving me these video recommendations and all the history and context and inside stories you guys give me in the comment section that I read. And I've learned a lot through this whole process. I've learned, and through fishing for videos about things I don't know, obviously I'm learning, and then maybe some of you guys are learning too, or maybe learning some new things about players you didn't know. I don't know, so I feel like everybody can find some type of benefit in this, whether you're learning something new or maybe just taking a trip down memory lane and getting nostalgic. But, it's one reason, man, like my love for Kobe Bryant started with basketball, but as he matured and grew and learned, and I started looking at other aspects when he started getting really deep, and just looking at how he carried himself as a professional and the type of things he was investing his time in and why, and just talking about other stuff that might be loosely related to basketball but also related to life. I was like, my love for Kobe goes beyond the basketball court. It does, but it started at the basketball court. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about it. Let me know what you think about it. If you like this MuseCage thing, I will gladly react to more MuseCage videos if more people want to dive into the messages involved in Kobe Bryant's MuseCage series. All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Let me know what you think about it. Can you relate to any of this? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.